happy Memorial Day to everybody watching today. Great to have you. Great to have you checking in. It's a holiday here in the United States, and I know we got folks that watch all over the world. But Tammy and I are just enjoying the holiday of Memorial Day. So I thought we'll have a short version of Daily Distinction today. But I thought what we'd do today is just kind of take a look at what you're doing here on Memorial Day in the United States. And if you're watching on Instagram, or if you're watching here on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter, just checking in on Memorial Day. Got a couple interesting facts about the day, and just want to find out how you're doing and what you're doing here on Memorial Day in a short version of Daily Distinction. Hey, Bonnie, it's so great to see you. I missed you the last few days. Glad you're doing great, and hope you're having a good holiday. Same with you, Scott. Thanks for joining us. By the way, Scott, we had a terrific episode last night of the Ken and Glenn show with a guy named Scott that was broadcast. We had over 1,000 folks that were watching at some point during the show, and our special guest Jeffrey Gitomer was just fantastic. So, Scott, you were a part of that. Appreciate that, and Charles, you were as well. So, howdy to you on Memorial Day. Hope things are going well with you. And Pam, Memorial Day in Indy, a little different this year because it's not the day that we're recovering after the Indy 500 with the changes that have been made with the COVID-19 situation. Dad, always great to see you. Thank you for being here. Tilleen, you're grilling and swimming. What a great way to spend the day. Tammy and I are getting ready to go out and get on our bikes, and then we're going to be doing some of the same. Now, watching it rain in southern Indiana. Oh my gosh, Shelly, I didn't realize you guys were getting rain today. We are very fortunate here in Las Vegas. It is a beautiful day here. We're supposed to get hit with a big heat wave the middle of the week. Going to get up in the 108, 110, something like that, which is unusual for May, but we're getting there this week. So yes, you betcha. I got my High Point University hat on. As some of you may know, I'm on the in-residence faculty at High Point University. I'm the corporate educator in residence. So what I have the privilege of doing at High Point University is working with the students there about what they can expect in terms of what's going to happen in the corporate world once they get out, to help prepare them for lives, because High Point University is the primary life skills university in the nation. So it's always a privilege to promote HPU. Hey, Jerry, yeah, great to see you. Oh, good. I'm glad you enjoyed that last night. That was fantastic. Jerry's piece of work. It was really great. So, getting the salon going. Bonnie is a person who is the CEO of a lot of things going on there with that in the beauty industry. So glad that she's here. What are you doing in Monterey, Jeff? Smoking ribs, cold beer on ice. Man, you're making my mouth water. That is so cool. So let's talk a little bit about Memorial Day here in the United States. Personally, for our family, it was something that always meant a lot. I don't know if we still do or not, but in Indiana, for many years that I know of, my father's family held the record for the most from one family that had been in the armed service and saw action. My dad was from family 12, 9 boys and 3 girls, and all 9 boys saw action, and one of the daughters was in the armed forces and served as a nurse on the front lines. So 10 of the 12, and all 10 came home safely. So Veterans Day obviously is what we celebrate the most, but there's always been a sense of Memorial Day when we were the family in our state that had the most returns safely. Just a great appreciation for the ultimate sacrifice that was given by so many. For those of you watching maybe from another country, we have a Memorial Day and a Veterans Day. The Veterans Day in November celebrates everyone that has been of service to our nation. It celebrates everyone who has served in the armed forces. Memorial Day is a special day set aside for those who died in the service of their country, for those who passed away while serving their country. So that's the difference between Memorial Day, which celebrates those who gave the ultimate sacrifice, and Veterans Day, that recognizes all that sacrificed for our nation. But I found a couple interesting facts that I wasn't aware of about Memorial Day that I think might be interesting. When do you think Memorial Day became a holiday? When do you think Memorial Day became a holiday in the United States? And the answer was absolutely shocking to me. It was 1971. The Memorial Day was not an official United States holiday until 1971, which is shocking to me. I would have thought it would have been back in the right after the Civil War, for example. And in fact, there were celebrations of that, both on the Union side and the Confederate side. And there were certainly celebrations of that, particularly following World War I, which is where the idea first began. And it was originally known as Decoration Day, not Memorial Day. It was first known as Decoration Day. And I remember Shelley, my sister, I see is watching right now. You'll remember as well, our grandmother that we called Nanny. Nanny always used to call it Decoration Day. She could never get around to calling it Memorial Day because it was always Decoration Day. And the reason it was Decoration Day is that was the day that volunteers would go to cemeteries all over the country and put flags and poppies, either fake, ornamental poppies or real poppies on the graves of those who had died in war. I remember that there was somebody from our family that had died during the Spanish-American War, and my grandmother made a big deal about making certain that there was a flag on his grave and the graves of those from every conflict known. So it was originally known as Decoration Day. It was the day that they would decorate the graves of the soldiers that had been killed. Interestingly enough, the first president to celebrate Decoration Day, honoring those who died, was President James Garfield in a celebration at Arlington National Cemetery. 5,000 volunteers decorated every grave at Arlington National Cemetery with a U.S. flag and a poppy. I'm sorry, at that time it was just the flag. Poppies didn't come till later. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. Part of what makes this ironic is not long after that, James Garfield himself was assassinated as the president of the United States. So James Garfield also gave the ultimate sacrifice for public service after leading the first national celebration of the sacrifice of public service. So why is it in May? Why was May selected? This time in May. Why was it the choice for this type of celebration? Originally, Decoration Day was the same day every year. It's only later that it has always been ascribed to a Monday so that you would get a 3-day holiday weekend. Typically, for most of its history, this day was celebrated on May 30th. And the reason they chose that was kind of interesting. It's because it wasn't the anniversary of anything. They didn't want to glorify one particular battle over another. They didn't want to choose the date that Gettysburg happened, or they didn't want to choose the date of a particular battle in World War I or whatever that would commemorate that battle. What they were looking for was a date that wasn't affiliated with anything, so it could be respectful of all who died in any battle at any time. So in other words, they chose it because it didn't commemorate anything. They chose a day of commemoration that wouldn't commemorate anything specifically. Hey, let's catch up on what you're saying here. And great to see you. Closet cleaner for me on the day off. Yeah, absolutely. That's another project that we're going to be tackling here as well. I know what you're talking about. Let's see. Charles, you've got something for us here too. We would barbecue, spare the air day because the heat flyover. Oh, flyover. Wow. Buddies of mine back in India have sent me when the Blue Angels flew over Indianapolis here not too long ago. And then Joe Calloway, my buddy in Nashville, sent me a video of the flyover that the Blue Angels did in Nashville. Just unreal. Just so fantastic. That's so great. Hey, Kathy, always great to see you. Oh my goodness. Her grandfather buried at Arlington. How incredible. My pal, Joe Bonsall, of the Oak Ridge Boys, that was on with us a couple weeks ago. His mom and dad both buried at Arlington. And I know about how special and important that is. And that is such an amazing tribute to him that he is there. Charles, I'm glad you asked that. We did not set this up in advance, but I'm going to explain the significance of the poppy here in just a minute. The American Legion used to sell poppies. Yeah, it's funny, Jerry. I haven't seen many poppies here in the last few years, but it was a tradition. Hey, Richard, so great to see you today. You were in the Korean conflict, 3 years, 4 months, and 5 days, but who's counting? Yeah, my dad served there too, as you probably know, Richard. And yep, what an incredible uh, man. We to me, in many ways, Korea is the forgotten conflict. You know, we remember World War I and II that we've studied. Many of us have relatives from Vietnam, but I think the younger generation has, sadly, unfortunately, forgotten about the Korean conflict, and that is another where so many like you served, and so many gave their lives. So, a special thank you for your service, my friend. You are a special person. So Jerry and Charles asked the question. Jerry mentioned seeing poppies being sold by the American Legion, and Charles asked the question, where did poppies come from? And wearing a red poppy became a symbol of Memorial Day, of this day, of Decoration Day. But it came from a battle in World War I. One of the most difficult battles of World War I was fought in a place called Flanders Field. Now, Flanders Field is really an area more than just a single field, but they called it Flanders Field because it was part of an area called the Flanders in France near Calais. And Calais is where if you've ever been on the Channel, the train that goes under the English Channel and comes back up, the high-speed train, when it pops up, you're in Calais. And where that region and Belgium kind of run together, that was called the Flanders Field. And it was the home of one of the most brutal and difficult battles during World War I. And so a Canadian soldier wrote a poem about it. And the poem that he wrote about Flanders Field, it's a short one. Let me give it to you. The Canadian soldier's name was John McCrae. And he wrote, "In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you from failing hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If you break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields." Man, I got goosebumps just reciting that. That is such a powerful poem. John McCrae, McCrae, in Flanders Fields is the name of the poem. Hey, Jerry just posted it if you'd like to get a copy of it. And oh, by the way, Charles, thank you for saying that to our friend Richard. Absolutely, what a great service, that he and everyone that fought in Korea and other wars have provided. So that's why they wear the poppies. It's based on that poem about the ultimate sacrifice that was written by a Canadian soldier, but nonetheless has certainly inspired us in how we think and how we celebrate and view this day. So, short version because it's the holiday, but I just wanted to connect here with Daily Distinction. We're going to be back to business again tomorrow, talking about the better ways that we can deal with what's going on around us. And coming up Thursday, I'm really happy that Stacy Hankey, she's a friend of mine, but she has a company with several different trainers and thinkers and writers and thought leaders, and Stacy is one of the best. And she's going to be talking about influence. Influence and leadership is really, really important in any business setting, but goodness only knows we use that and need that in our homes, in our communities, in our churches, whatever it might be. So it's not just about how to run your business. It's going to be about how do we influence others. And I can't think of a better expert that could talk to us about that than Stacy Hankey. She's going to be here on Thursday. So thanks, everybody. Hey, just a couple of reminders. If you would share this, that's always appreciated, because when you share it, it helps grow our audience here for Daily Distinction that we do every day. I want to remind you again about all the free resources that are available to you, audio downloads and ebooks and more that's available to you just by going to Distinction Nation. Just go sign up for free resources. It's distinctionnation.com with audio courses, ebooks. All you need to do is just go sign up. Also, follow our Facebook page. Just search for Daily Distinction and sign up. Everything is there for you. And I really appreciate hey, Jeff, thank you for sharing. Scott, thank you for sharing. It's really amazing to me that most of the folks that watch this watch it on a replay. So when you share, it helps more folks discover us on a replay. So thank you. And I'll see you once again right here at the same time. We'll be here at 3 o'clock Eastern, noon Pacific for another episode of Daily Distinction coming your way tomorrow. Have a great, happy, and healthy and safe Memorial Day wherever you are in the world today. Thanks for watching.